What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your daily news report and economic update for Wednesday, June 15th. So here's what's happening today. First, the White House has lied once again. I want to address why they keep doing this, what is going on, and what we are going to see moving forward. We're going to talk about how right now, according to some, they're saying it's too late for President Biden to really bring down the price of oil and gas. So we could see it surge once again. We also have another major food warning that is coming from another country. So I want to address what's going on there. And again, give you just an overall economic update of what we are seeing going on right now in the middle of June. So again, just want to thank you guys for watching. And if you could and you enjoy these daily uploads, do me a favor, go ahead, spend 2 seconds and hit that like button. But let's get right down to it. So here's what we know. Yesterday, the White House press secretary stated that Americans are concerned about inflation and the stock market. Now, I bring this up because this is a very valid point. What's happening right now? And again, if you own an account that has some profit in it, or you had profit in it, you're probably feeling, pretty good. But what happens when all your profit has evaporated over the past 6 months? Well, you get a little worried. But then what happens when your profit is gone and your initial investment is starting to dwindle? That's not a good feeling. And what normally happens is when people's investments are dropping, they normally don't spend as much money overall within the economy. They don't invest. They just continue to save their money. And when inflation is at 8.6%, your money's going to be eaten away. So, this is a huge concern. Now, obviously, this is a major problem moving forward, but that's not it. That is only the start of some of the White House's worries. Now, according to Bloomberg, they're saying that White House officials are stating that they now know that their sanctions on Russia brought on some extreme economic suffering within the United States. That's not what we want to hear. And this was mostly due to the fact that the U.S. was banning all Russian oil imports. That was the big one. They were forbidding U.S. companies from doing business with Russia. Now, here's the thing that you need to understand, is that the White House is calling this self-sanctioning, where companies are pulling out of Russia, doing whatever they can so they're not doing any business with or in Russia. Now, this wasn't a stipulation that the White House or any of the sanctions had, or all the sanctions had, but some companies were worried that they could operate and they would struggle to remain in the rules and confines of the sanctions. And so because of that, they self-sanctioned and pretty much pulled out. This is what the White House is saying is causing the biggest issues. Then obviously we have sanctions against Russian oligarchs as well. But again, all these things combined are causing more troubles and issues here in the United States. So we'll see what happens there. Now, one thing that I can tell you is that, and if you remember, before any of these sanctions happened, White House officials and President Biden himself said these sanctions, they would impact the American people. We knew that, but it would be a minimal impact to the American people. Obviously, this was wrong. This is just the start of the lies. Now, discussions lately, have been around the thoughts that sanctions on Russia are not slowing down the invasion into Ukraine, and really all they're doing is they're increasing inflation within the United States. Now, one of the biggest things right here is that the price of gas just keeps going up. That's what we're seeing, and that's the big worry, is gas prices are not coming down. Well, we know they're not. They're still over $5 a gallon. Now, with gas currently at over $5 a gallon here in the United States, President Biden is pushing all the responsibility over to Russia. And we've seen this. It's nothing new. It's just now he's pushing a little bit harder, saying it's Russia. It's the war going on in Ukraine. That's the issue. Now, we know that the American people have their eye on the price at the pumps. Every time I go and fill up, it's like, man, gas prices are getting more and more expensive. Well, according to multiple Democrats, the price of gas must quickly get reduced at the pumps if they have any chance of winning during the midterm elections. Okay? Now, think about this. Because we haven't seen too much done for gas other than the release of 180 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's really it. We've seen some states go ahead and pass a gas tax, or their gas tax holiday, but it's going to save them like 18 to 30 cents per gallon. So it's not going to be excessive, but it's going to be something. Well, here's what happened this morning. This morning, President Biden took a very small step, and he wrote a letter to the heads of some of the top oil and gas companies. Well, he had this to say. He said, and I quote, "There is no question that Vladimir Putin is principally responsible for the intense financial pain the American people and their families are bearing." He says, "But amid a war that has raised gasoline prices more than $1.70 per gallon, historically high refinery profit margins are worsening the pain." And then he goes on to say, "I understand that many factors contributed to the business decisions to reduce refinery capacity," which he added, "which occurred before I took office. But at a time of war, refinery profit margins well above normal being passed directly onto American families are not acceptable." So, essentially what he's saying is that these companies are seeing record high refinery profit margins. And as a result, he wants to see the oil and gas companies pass on some additional savings onto the end consumer. That's what he wants. So he's telling companies, do not charge as much for a product that everybody wants, because we can't have you making all this money and then the American people are hurting. Well, I doubt this letter that he wrote is going to do much to bring down the price of gas at the pumps. But, and again, I could be wrong, but this letter is probably just more for show than anything else. I don't think it's going to do anything, but again, we never know. But one thing that will do something, and something else that a lot of people are very concerned about, is something else that is going to increase in price very soon. But it doesn't have to do with gas. One of the other big costs that the American people are paying is health insurance. And we see this. We know we pay a lot for health insurance. We pay an excessive amount. Well, during the pandemic, one of the things that millions of people got assistance with is that they had the luxury of getting Obamacare subsidies to help pay for some of their insurance or 100% of the cost. Well, in the end of 2022, these subsidies are going to expire, and many Americans are going to see these huge increases to their premiums. Just in West Virginia, for example, some households are going to be paying an additional $2,700. Yeah, it's going to be excessive. Well, what I can tell you is 57 House Democrats are now putting pressure on party leaders to try and revive President Biden's stalled economic agenda before voters finally figure out what is going on. Now, I've been telling you guys this for the past, I don't know, maybe 4 months, 5 months, that as soon as the Obamacare subsidies expire, prices are going to go up. Okay? Now, these all these price increases, and I know that we're going to see some increase. We might not see great savings like people were getting over the course of the past 2 years, but here's the issue, and the Democrats know this. These letters that are going to state the new premium, these are going to start coming out in October, 1 month before the election. So right there, this would be a disaster to Democrats, especially when they're trying to bring down the cost of gasoline and goods right before the election, and all of a sudden they're going to charge more for Obamacare, right? Under the Affordable Care Act. It's not going to be a good look. And so this is why 57 House Democrats are now putting more pressure on their party leaders to get something done. But again, we will see if that actually happens. Now, I do want to talk about another major food crisis or another potential shortage. Because here's what happened this morning. And we've seen rumors about this over the past few weeks as well. Just this morning, the United Arab Emirates has ordered a 4-month suspension in exports and re-exports of wheat and wheat flour. Now, this is a huge move as they are the world's second largest producer of grain. But, and again, this isn't all surprising, right? This move is not all that surprising to me. But the reason why I bring this up is because more and more countries are now starting to place bans on their exports of certain products in order to prevent a price surge within their country. Now, this is extremely important because this isn't something that has really been discussed here in the United States, which could mean prices could eventually double from where they are at right now. And I understand, the U.S. wants to continue to sell our goods and products. Yes, it makes sense. We make some money off it. But at the same time, while the government is making money, guess who's paying more for prices? Yeah, you and I, the American people. That is the big struggle is, okay, great. We are going to sell all of our goods to other countries. But at the same time, being that now we have a limited supply here at home, it means prices will go up. So it's not the greatest news. And that's part of the problem is the White House continues to lie about what is actually happening. As we sell some of our products, some of our goods, what happens is our supply goes down, demand stays the same, which means prices go up. It's not a great situation to be in, but that's currently where we're at. So again, just want to explain what was happening right now. That's all I got for you guys today. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.